All right, we're going to learn a little bit more about the Holocaust. The Holocaust was a very sad time in history. During this time, Nazis or German soldiers killed over 6 million Jewish people and 11 million total. This was a very complicated time in history, so we're going to learn about it through pictures. Germany, right here, which is where the red arrow is pointing, is in Western Europe. This is the main country that there were concentration camps, which we'll talk about later, and where most of the Holocaust took place. However, as time went on, other countries became involved as well. The Holocaust in World War II happened between 1939 and 1945. Now, this seems like a very long time ago, but to put it into perspective, there are still people alive today that were alive when this happened. They would just be very old right now. So the why would something this terrible have happened? There are a few reasons. First, Germany needed to blame somebody for losing World War I. World War I had happened a few years prior, and Germany was still upset that they had lost. It's kind of like when we play a game and someone loses, they need to blame the other person. They need to say, oh, you cheated and that's why I lost, because it makes them feel better. Another reason was money. Money and power and control are often the root of many issues. And then remember our reading Yertle the turtle? Yertle wanted to keep climbing up so he could control more and more and see more and more. And higher he went. Well, in this case, there was a man called Adolf Hitler, who we're going to get to next, and he wanted all the power and control too, just like Yertle. Then lastly, this goes back to the blame a little bit, but Germany blamed the Jewish people for losing World War I. And as you can see, they made advertisements called propaganda to make the Jewish people look bad and evil. For example, in this picture, there's a picture of a Jewish man, and they've made him look a little bit scary, and he has a pile of money here and skulls. So back then, they used pictures like this to make people afraid of the Jewish people. So who did this? The bad guys of the Holocaust were Adolf Hitler. This is the man right here. He was in charge of Germany during this time. And his soldiers were called Nazis. They would wear, and you can kind of see it on his sleeve here, this is called a swastika, and that was the symbol for German soldiers. Italy and Japan were on the same side of the war as Germany, so they took his side. And this is the guy I was comparing to Yertle the turtle. The main people that Hitler did not like were Jewish people. We've talked a little bit about Judaism, which is the name of the religion for Jewish people, when we learned about all the Semitic religions. But basically, Jewish people are either an ethnic group or a religious group who just were blamed for a lot of things. And Hitler made them wear a star. This is called the Star of David. Made them wear a star so he could identify them and therefore blame and persecute them. Sadly, Hitler didn't like a lot of other people too. It wasn't just Jewish people. Other people who were persecuted and therefore died during the Holocaust were homosexuals, so people who were gay, Romas, and back then they called them gypsies, people with disabilities, people that stood up to Hitler, and certain other religions like Jehovah's Witnesses or Catholics. So basically, something we love in our world today is how many different kinds of people there are. There's so many different people, and we can learn so much from other cultures, but Hitler only wanted his race, his culture, to win and be in control. He believed that there was only one pure race, and that was the German race. So what did he do? How did he get rid of all these people that were different from him? Well, the next pictures are going to be kind of sad, but Hitler had an idea called the final solution. And his idea was to take all those groups of people we talked about, again, mostly Jewish people, and he put them in camps. Now, it's not a fun summer camp. They were called concentration camps or work camps. He would take them from their homes, bring them to places like this. They would have terrible living conditions. As you can see, look how thin he is. He made them eat out of dog bowls. You can see those are dog bowls over there. And they had no blankets or pillows. He treated them extremely poorly. Okay? And this happened to many, many millions of people. And as you can see over here, it happened to children as well. And they were made to wear these striped kind of pajamas. So he brought them there to do work, but often, and I don't have any pictures of this because it's very upsetting, what he would most likely do is kill people. He would kill the very old or the very young or women or children when they first arrived because those people couldn't do any work for him. And then eventually, the people he put to work, and they would do things like building more concentration camps or other manual labor, hard labor jobs like that. Once they got too tired or if they got sick from all that work, he would kill them as well. So by the end of the war, or the end of the Holocaust, 6 million Jewish people died, and another 5 million people that we talked about in the earlier group, in this group, died as well. So it was extremely sad. But it did come to an end. In the end, because of other countries intervening, such as the United States, France, and Britain, we took over and ended the war. You can see here's a soldier. He's going to release these people from the concentration camp. And this picture is kind of hard to see, but here's a tank coming in, and look how excited all the people in the concentration camp are because they know they are going to be freed. So the war ended. And the people who were still in concentration camps were freed. Now, we're going to talk about the consequences of this, the good and the bad consequences, because we did learn a lot from this experience. We'll talk about that at a later time. But that is just the beginning. And I will also send this presentation to you separate so you can look through the pictures on your own.